And then when it came to me going to church, I started going to church like every Sunday for maybe like a month or so. And somehow me and JB, we had some conflicts and stuff. And because JB was Muslim, I got to understand what religion really is. And I realized that Christianity really isn't a religion. And the problem with church was that people who go to church end up becoming religious, but they don't know this thing. I got to notice that and realize that, because like in church, you know how pastors will be like, they will talk about what they've done in the past, but they'll make you feel like you need to do the right thing in order to go to heaven, earn your way to heaven. And I'm like, but I thought that's already done. Like, that's what I was thinking. I thought that's already done. It's not that we're going to be judged, but it's that it is finished. It is done. Like, the judgment for Christians, Jesus is going to take my place for Judgment Day. So I thought it's already done. So that was the question that I had with the pastor, and the argument that I had with the pastor. And it was quite intense, to a point where I'm just like, you know what? This, as Jesus said in the Bible, there will be a lot of false prophets. There'll be a lot of people who can easily like deceive you and all that stuff. So for me, and also the way I was starting to, when I started going to church, I started being all religious, started talking about God so much, to a point where it made JB feel uncomfortable, and it made him like distance himself from me. And I'm just like, wait a minute, what is this? Why is there this distance? What's going on? Like, no, it's not right. And that's when it hit me that somehow, because I was going to church, I was becoming religious. And that's not very good. For a believer of Christ. So that was kind of like the vibe that I had. And when I realized that church was making me religious instead of, making me a believer of Christ, or like how, let me explain, how Cardi B will go around telling people, guys, I was a stripper, I was this, like, and this thing helped me level up and blah blah blah. That's when you boast for your weaknesses and stuff like that. With church, it's completely different. Another argument that I had was, why is it that I have to put on this facade or this mask for dressing up decently and proper, instead of dressing the way I dress up on a day-to-day basis? Why am I trying to act all innocent in the house of God if God sees me every day doing these crazy things? God will probably see you masturbating that night, and stuff like that. And to me, that kind of like seemed fake. And it didn't seem authentic. And I'm just like, because for me, I talk to God everywhere. I talk to Jesus everywhere. I talk to him when I'm in the shower. I talk to him anywhere and everywhere. Like, I'm so open to him about it. Everything, So I'm just like, why do we need to put on this facade or this mask when we're going to church? And that made me feel very uncomfortable. And it hit me that I can't go to church, but I can still have a relationship with God and, make it personal. I don't like to like talk too much about this whole religion thing, because people are going to be like so cautious on the comments. So yeah, whatever. So yeah, that was basically it. And that's when I And because JB was not a Christian, he was a Muslim, I understood where he's coming from. And because probably if he was a Christian, he'd probably agree with me with this whole religious thing and he'd go to church with me. But because he was Muslim and we had this differences, I actually saw this mistake that churches had. So that's probably why I don't go to church. For me, I just feel like church doesn't. And the thing is, someone told me that they lie at church because they need business. They need the money for business. So it's not about speaking the truth or letting people know the truth. It's more so about people giving offering for businesses and stuff like that. And when I heard that, I was just like, even if you told the truth, even if you gave people hope or help people build their faith, why would you lie about that just to keep it for business? And that just put me off. It put me off. I was like, no, I don't want to be part of it. I don't want to be interested in it and stuff like that. People judge me, even some relatives. They're like, oh, Joy, do you go to church? Did you go to church this Sunday? I just came from church. I was like, oh, that's nice. So how was church for you? I'm like, oh, I didn't go to church. They're like, why didn't you go to church? Yo, we need to pray for you. Hey! This girl doesn't want to go to church. I don't know what that country did to her, that Muslim country. And it's not like they did anything. It's just, I'm being real as fuck. I don't want to be fake in front of Jesus, like legit. So that was me, and somehow that made me a stronger Christian because I dated JB, and him being very different from me made me become a stronger Christian. And that's what helped us continue being together and continue dating, and everything was like working out somehow. And then, how do I say this? Yeah, one thing led to another. Right now at this point, I'm so tired of talking. Guys, tired. I even have a headache. So we continued dating. I think it was for 3 years. Yeah, it was for 3 years. We dated for 3 years. And we were together. We were stronger than ever. I reached a point where... And then there was this whole issue of me wanting to leave UCSI. I was so frustrated for how hard UCSI is and their racism and how everything is just like not working for me. I just dropped out of school, and this somehow made me miss JB and made me miss the whole family and everything, all my friends and stuff like that, to a point where I left for South Africa. I used my parents' money to go to South Africa, come here and tell my dad I want to drop out and start my own thing. And he's like, no, Joy, you need to go back to school. So at the end of the day, I decided to go back because I missed him and my friends. But once I got to UCSI, I heard that they didn't want me to perform or dance because my previous performance was inappropriate and all that stuff, and that kind of like hurt my feelings. I was like, nah, I don't think I can stay in school anymore. So I transferred to Limkokwing. So as I was moving from Chiros to Cyberjaya, it was kind of like a challenge for me and JB to stay together, and but we still kept it strong, we still kept it cool and everything. JB was worried that I'd fall for the guys in Limkokwing. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Why would I do that? Like, we've been through so much together and stuff like that. So yeah, and it reached a point where the relationship had matured to a point where could tell that, Jaybee really gave a fuck about me. Like, I got into a fight with my friends and stuff, but Jaybee still stood by my side. He was there supporting me and everything. And I don't know, like, guys, I'm already tired of talking. Yo. And he was there. So, yeah, so tired. Can this story end? Should we do a part 2? And I reached a point where Jaybee was so in love with me, to a point where he loved the way I looked naturally. As you can see from the song Falling, he says that I don't need makeup, because he knows that he's faithful. He knows that I know that he's gonna be faithful to me. He's gonna be a good boyfriend to me. He was an amazing guy. And yeah, but there were hard times, like him doing internship, and internship was kind of like stressing him out. It was hard for him. They made him work for like 12 hours for 4 days, so it was intense. And then the whole thing of traveling from Cheras to Cyberjaya to come and see me all the time was also another challenge for him. And his finances, and even the internship wasn't paying him very well. He was getting money from internship, but yeah, he still made the sacrifice. He still I also contributed to him traveling to come and see me and stuff like that. So we still made things work out. It was until we had a bit of conflict, and I think it all started with me traveling to Indonesia, and I booked a nice hotel for me and him, because this was his last year. He was gonna go to Australia. So since it was his last year, I really wanted it to be special, and this was an opportunity for him and me to get a nice hotel, and we just spend the night of our lives, the weekend of our lives. But Jaybee couldn't make it. Reason being, visa problems. Like, for me, I don't need a visa to go to Indonesia, but for Jaybee, he needs a visa because he's Nigerian and stuff. And then also, I don't know, so many things, and that kind of hurt me. I felt like he was ditching me. And I was thinking about my ex-boyfriend, because my ex-boyfriend ditched me so many times. He didn't take me seriously. That guy killed me for days. So I was just like, does this guy not give a fuck about me? Does he not care about me and my feelings? Am I wasting my time? I was questioning so many things. Is he taking advantage of me? Blah, 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 blah. Then, and that was the time when me and Mercy weren't like close before as we were before. So I didn't have any girlfriend to talk about how I felt. So I had this dude. This other dude. So I contacted him, and we started talking about what's up. I was so frustrated that Jaybee didn't make it, and the hotel was so nice. It was so comfortable, and blah, 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 blah. And with me and this dude, one thing led to another. Like, he seemed kind of interesting, and I was curious to see what it's like to like mess around with this dude, because I let him in me and JB's argument. So that was the number one issue. You see, that was the number one problem, that I let someone into our argument, and it was an opposite sex. So and this is what happened. Like, I ended up breaking up with Jaybee I got back to Malaysia, ended up breaking up with JB, and me and this dude were messing around and stuff. But then, like, I felt so bad. Like, it was fun and everything, but I felt so bad because I didn't know what I was going to tell JB, because I just broke up with him because I really wanted to mess around with this guy, and I didn't want to cheat on JB, you know. So it was very intense. I really messed up, guys. I'm the one who messed up. And you know how JB's promise was, if I find somebody else that I love, then, you know, that's the end of me and him. And I thought I did, but somehow I felt like I didn't. I wanted to figure out what this guy is up to. I wanted to figure out what's wrong with this guy. Who is this actual guy, you know? But I think I pushed the button too much. And, you know, at the end of the day, this was a guy who wasn't happy with himself. He wasn't happy with life. He was miserable, and he wanted to just separate me and JB. And, you know, once I started catching little feelings for him, that's when he started being a fucked up guy, being a jerk. And you know, with people who are miserable with themselves, they always want to bring misery onto other people. So probably he saw how happy me and JB were, and he wanted to destroy that stuff. That's the assumption. JB knew that I really wasn't interested in this guy, you know, and even when I apologized to him, he forgave me. Guys, this guy forgave me for something I could not forgive myself for. And I was like, who the hell are you, JB? Who are you? Why aren't you a Christian? Like, he forgave me for something I couldn't forgive him for. And that taught me a very, very big lesson, that when it comes to relationships, I think the most powerful thing is the willingness to forgive each other, to understand each other, and be honest with each other as to why they last longer. The fact that you can fight for each other, he really fought for me. Like, he really did. But I just wasn't interested because I was so caught up by how amazing the sex was with this dude, you know. But then it reached a point where, like, we were messing around, but it wasn't the same, because with me and JB, like, we used to make love, and this dude, we're just fucking, you know what I mean? So to some extent, I somehow got put off by the whole thing, and I started missing JB and how special we were and how intense we were. Guys, I fucked up, hey? I fucked up. Yeah, hey? And you know, what made it even worse is that this guy, JB, he was willing to forgive me, but I could not forgive myself for what I did to him. I felt so guilty to a point where I pushed him away even more, so that, and I messed up even more with this other dude because I felt so guilty. I didn't want to look at myself in the mirror, even though I didn't technically cheat on him, but I felt like I did. I felt so bad, and JB understood where I was coming from, and he was willing to be by my side to help me get through this guilt, because now he was done with internship, he was free, and he was supposed to come and stay with me for the last month in Malaysia, but we didn't do that because of this dude that just came in between us. So he fucked things up. I fucked up. So that's another thing, like when it comes to like having a strong relationship with someone, you always have to blame yourself, because most people like to blame others. You did this to me, you did that to me. But I blamed myself for whatever happened, and I feel so bad for it. And it was it was a challenge for me and JB to get back. But somehow, I think it was 2 days before JB was going to fly, I had to run. I had to run to go and look for him and see him and talk to him and apologize to him for everything that I did. Because I felt so bad. Like, you know, to some extent, me and Jamie were willing to fix things after I told him that I messed around with this dude. We were willing to fix things, but I couldn't sleep with him. I couldn't, even when we were showering, together, he wanted to, okay, it's not like he wanted to make love to me and all that stuff, but I couldn't because I felt so guilty, and I just felt like it's not gonna be the same. And man, it's quite messed up, hey. And I was in a very bad state at that time, and it was hard for me to like completely open to him. And somehow this guy, he kept on asking me to lie to him, and that's not who I am. So this guy is a liar. He's miserable. He's fucked up. He doesn't have any confidence in himself. He doesn't have self-confidence, because at first he was supporting with my business, but then he changed all of a sudden. So it was quite messed up. This dude wasn't a good person. But like, yeah, that's what happened between me and JB. So when it came to me going to chase after him, just when it was 2 days ago before he travels back to Nigeria, because he had to go to Nigeria before he goes to Australia and all this stuff, I was looking for him. He wasn't available. He wasn't answering my messages. He blocked me. This guy. I think he blocked me at some point. He didn't want to talk to me and stuff like that. So I had to travel to Charas to go and look for him and stuff. So I kept on I literally went to the condominium he was in. I begged the guy, please, can you let me in? And stuff like that. And it was already past 11. Like, his condominium, they have curfew where you're not allowed to go and visit after 11. And I begged, I cried. I wanted him. I told them about me and JB. When I got to his house, he wasn't there. Apparently his housemates told me that he was staying with another friend of his. They don't know who it is, blah 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 blah. I think his contract ended or something. So then as I was like so sad, I was eating by McDonald's outside, so sad. I was crying. And then I see JB walking outside, walking. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I literally left McDonald's, ran to him, and he was walking. He just wanted to ignore me. I was like, JB, please come. Please listen to me. I'm so sorry. Like, I was running to him like a crazy bitch. So I was apologizing to him. I'm like, so sorry about everything. He's like, Joy, what do you want? What do you want with me? Like, I don't want to talk to you at this point and stuff like that. And I was kneeling down and I was crying in tears. And he's like, I don't believe you. And like, you lied to me and stuff like that. I don't know you anymore. I don't know who you are. I can't recognize you anymore. You're not the same Joy. Oh my gosh. It was... it was intense. Like, Literally. Fuck. You know? Oh my gosh. So I kept on apologizing to him, and I'm saying sorry to him and stuff like that. He didn't want to like have anything to do with me and stuff. And then once he got to Nigeria, okay, so like I was crying, I was so miserable, I was so sad. And one of my friends who was helping him out with some beats and for his music and stuff like that showed me the song, who was working with Jaybee while I was busy mingling with this fucked up guy. And when I heard Falling, that's when I burst. I cried my heart out. I felt so bad, and this was like my favorite song. I cried, and all the memories just started coming back, and I was just like, I was such a stupid girl. How could I just ruin something like this and stuff like that? And it was a really, really tough. Oh man, he's probably like watching this video and he's like, this girl, she has water in her eyes. You know, it was a really, really painful moment for me to actually ruin something so beautiful like this with just one stupid guy that I just knew for like 3 months, you know. And luckily JB contacted me when he arrived in Malaysia, in Nigeria and stuff like that. And I asked him, why did you talk to me? Why did you contact me again? And then he told me that, you know, because I could see that he actually went after me and, you know, tried to ask for my forgiveness and stuff like that. He told me that, you know, there's some people he ditched, cut off of his life. Some people he deleted. Some fake people. But I asked him, why did you decide to keep me? He's like, because he's learned so much from me. I've also learned a lot from him, and I was real and stuff. And, you know, as much as I've fucked up big time, he chooses to look at the good side and the good things that I've done, and he made the decision to somehow keep me, you know. And I was so grateful that he could actually do something like that, but I still felt guilty. So, and then, you know, sometimes I would talk about my business and how much I'm planning so many things, and, you know, I felt like he wasn't really being supportive as much. So I decided to not talk to him for like 6 months. 6 months went by. I didn't wish him happy birthday, but he wished me happy birthday. And he called me on my birthday, and that's when we had like the longest talk, and we worked things out, and we understood our misunderstandings, and things were mended together. And he was like, I really, really loved you, Joy. I loved you so much, but you fucked up. I'm like, I know, I'm so sorry. I really am. And I did fuck up. And then I asked about my friend. I don't know, like, and then all of a sudden he just cuts me out. Like that conversation, it was a video call. I think it was 6 hours. We were catching up about our lives, talking about so many things. And, you know, JB was in Australia, and Australia is a Christian country. And, you know, he likes the way he's thinking twice about the whole religion thing, and you know, he likes the way how the Christian life works and stuff like that. And that was great news for me to hear about it. And you know, I don't know, like to some extent I'm like, this guy is probably going to become a Christian, because his brother converted from Muslim to Christian and stuff. So he's probably going to end up being like that. And I was so happy that maybe, okay, there's some hope. And I didn't push him to do this. You see what God does. So yeah. And I think also for me, the reason why I messed up in Malaysia with him was because I didn't want him to go to Australia. I didn't want him to leave me. I didn't want him to forget about me. I didn't want it to end, but it's going to end anyway. So I wanted it to end. So that's why I messed up. But I really did love him. And he knew that, you know, it wasn't... I didn't mean to hurt him, basically. He knew that I loved him. After everything we've been through, he knew that I loved him so much. So, yeah. Then after that, all of a sudden, he cut me off. After that 6-hour conversation, he's like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Blah, 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 blah. Well, it's probably because I was telling... I called my friend, you know, Mercy, to meet up. And, you know, I was concerned about her situation. I asked some questions. And, you know, he got pissed off. He got irritated. He's like, why would you do that? Mercy told me that, and now she doesn't trust me anymore, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm not going to tell you shit. And that's when it ended. Like, I've sent emails. I have sent messages. I have tried calling him. He doesn't want to answer anything. He doesn't want anything to do with me. So, he's probably going through a phase. I don't know. But I'm just going to wait for him. It's quite intense with JB. I learned a lot being with him. And I have a feeling that this is not just the end. It's just the beginning. Like, I have a feeling that we're going to get back together. I don't feel like that's the end. Another thing is, he told me that he saved up money for us to go to 5-star hotels. Because I was telling him, I want us to go to 5-star hotels and stuff like that. He really loved me. He was committed to me. And he was willing to do anything just to make me happy. We both loved each other. That's one thing I can say. And yeah, like, he saved up money for me and him to go to the 5-star hotels, but he didn't want me to pay. He wanted to pay and surprise me, but he didn't tell me about that. You know, that's a fucked up thing. Why the fuck do you start making surprises? Tell me straight up. You know, I wouldn't have been messing around with this motherfucker, because I'm probably thinking, this motherfucker doesn't give a shit about me. All these emotions are going in my head. Excuse me? Don't try to surprise me. Just tell me. We could have still got... man, this guy. Anyway. So, yeah, like, he really, really loved me. And, I loved him too. Like, we're just... I have a feeling this is not the end. It's just... And, you know, I know that if we do get back together, we're getting married. That's it. Like, no joke. Excuse me. Like, there's no argument here. We're getting married. The next time we hook up, or if we ever get through this or move on from this, we're gonna get married. That's it. That's the end. Like, there's no argument. Legit. because I've been with this guy. I know how he is, you know. We've showered together, we use the same bathroom, we're like so open with each other, to a point it's like, you know, this is the kind of guy I can spend the rest of my life with, because I know him and he knows me, and we somehow uplift each other. And I feel like that's something rare and hard to find. For me, it was hard to find, and I feel like he's gonna find it. I feel like he might not even find someone or something like we had, because it's so different. It's out of this world. Like, as he said in his song, the bond is so strong. Even now, even when we're not talking and stuff like that, bro, I'm still listening to him and his advice. I still feel like he's still part of my life, you know, even though we're not talking or communicating or anything. I don't know, it's quite intense. But yeah, that's the story. That's our love story, guys. Let me know what you guys want to hear more of, and I guess I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.